Imagine shifting to a plant-based diet without struggle. No hunger, no guilt, just vibrant health. What if science shows you how to succeed, not fail? Stick with us for the step-by-step method that turns plant food into plant power. Let's grow your confidence and your plate together.
Please hit that subscribe button now and turn on notifications. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Don't forget to check the description below for links to our trusted sponsors and ways you can support the show. Did you know that 95% of people who try plant-based diets fail within the first month? But here's the thing. It's not because plant-based eating is hard, it's because most people are doing it completely wrong.
That's such a striking statistic. What do you think is behind that high failure rate?
Well, I can tell you firsthand because I was almost part of that statistic. When I first tried going plant-based, I made the classic mistake of just removing meat without properly planning my nutrition. Let me share what I learned about doing it the right way.
Oh, that's really interesting. So there's actually a science to making this transition successfully.
Exactly. And here's what's fascinating. Research shows that people who transition gradually over 3 to 6 months are 70% more likely to stick with a plant-based diet long term. It's all about making sustainable changes rather than dramatic overnight shifts.
That makes so much sense. What would you say is the first step someone should take?
Well, let me share something that completely changed my approach. Instead of focusing on what to eliminate, start by adding more plant-based foods to your existing meals. Studies show that this crowding out method is significantly more effective than restriction-based approaches.
That's such a different perspective from what we usually hear about diet changes. Could you give some specific examples?
Sure, let's say you normally have eggs for breakfast. Instead of immediately dropping the eggs, start by adding a serving of sautéed vegetables and whole grain toast. Over time, you might find yourself naturally gravitating toward a fully plant-based breakfast like overnight oats with nuts and berries.
That's really practical advice. What about getting enough protein? I know that's a huge concern for many people.
You know what's interesting? The average American actually consumes nearly twice the protein they need daily. But here's the real game changer. A cup of lentils contains 18 grams of protein, which is about the same as 3 ounces of beef. Plus, plant proteins come with fiber and other nutrients you won't find in animal products.
Those numbers are pretty eye-opening. What other nutritional aspects should people consider?
Well, here's something that surprised me during my research. Plant-based eaters who properly plan their meals actually tend to have higher levels of certain nutrients than the general population. For instance, they typically consume more fiber, antioxidants, and potassium. However, and this is crucial, you need to be strategic about certain nutrients like B12, iron, and omega-3s.
How do you recommend people handle those specific nutrients?
Let me break this down into practical steps. First, incorporate foods rich in iron like spinach and legumes. But, and here's the key, always pair them with vitamin C-rich foods to increase absorption by up to 300%. For omega-3s, ground flax seeds and walnuts are your best friends. And for B12, most experts recommend supplementation.
That's really helpful information. What about meal planning? I imagine that's crucial for success.
Oh man, let me tell you about the system I developed after months of trial and error. The game changer was learning about the power plate method, making sure each meal is 25% whole grains, 25% protein-rich foods, 40% vegetables, and 10% healthy fats. This approach has been shown to optimize nutrition and satisfaction.
That sounds like a really manageable framework. How do you make it work in practice?
Here's my weekly strategy. I spend 2 hours every Sunday doing prep work. I cook 3 different whole grains, prepare 2 types of legumes, and roast a variety of vegetables. Studies show that people who meal prep are 23% more likely to stick to their dietary goals.
What about eating out? That seems like it could be challenging.
You'd be surprised. A recent survey showed that 72% of restaurants now offer plant-based options. But here's my pro tip. Always check menus in advance and have a strategy. I usually look for dishes that are naturally plant-based rather than trying to modify meat-based dishes.
That's a smart approach. What about the social aspects of making this transition?
Well, this is fascinating. Research indicates that our food choices are influenced by our social circle up to 57% of the time. So I recommend being open with friends and family about your choices, but also being flexible. Sometimes it's about progress, not perfection.
Speaking of progress, how long did it take you to feel comfortable with your new way of eating?
According to behavioral science, it takes about 66 days to form a new habit. In my experience, that's pretty accurate. By month 3, I had developed new routines, found my favorite recipes, and actually started craving plant-based meals. The key was taking it step by step and celebrating small wins along the way. Thanks for tuning in to the Wellness Lab Digest. If this episode helped you, here are 3 quick ways to support the show. 1. Subscribe to stay updated with fresh, body-loving wellness insights. 2. Share this episode with a friend who needs this today. 3. Comment below and tell us what topics you'd love to hear next. Want to do even more? Check the video description for ways to support the show. Stay curious, stay well, and we'll see you in the next episode.